Francis of Assisi, a man and a saint from the Middle Ages, yet for some almost a contemporary. This development has been impressively illustrated by Patricia Applebaum in her book, Saint Francis of America. Ever since Protestants discovered Francis in the second half of the 19th century in search of their pre-modern roots, he has served as a form of identification for generations of Christians from different denominations, and their enthusiasm has taken many different forms. In 1938, the magazine House and Garden featured an advertisement for a garden statue of the saint. A generation later, he became the hippie saint and patron of the 1967 Summer of Love in San Francisco, a city that bears his name. In the same year, another reason for his immense popularity arose. His view of nature gave solace and encouragement to those who feared ecological catastrophe. Pope Francis shared a similar outlook in his encyclical Laudato Si of 2015, in which the head of the Roman Catholic Church refers to his namesake when addressing his concerns about climate catastrophe. Indeed, the title of this encyclical quotes a poem by the Assisi saint, the Canticle of Brother Sun. In this song and in many stories about him, we appreciate his close connection with nature. It is said that he spoke to the birds, and legend has it that in Gubbio he even tamed a wolf. He praised the sun, the moon, and the stars. He might be a saint for our time, but he is not of our time. He knew nothing about the climate catastrophe in the modern world that brought it about. And in fact, we don't know all that much about him anyway. We rely mainly on the late collection of legends called the Fioretti, Little Flowers of St. Francis, in which we find, for example, the story of the wolf. For a long time, it was thought that the life of Francis by the Franciscan Minister General Bonaventure, died 1274, was a kind of biography, and it has certainly shaped the way memory of him is preserved in both its long and short versions, Legenda Mayor and Minor. It was also the basis of the famous frescoes that Giotto painted on the walls of the Basilica of St. Francesco in Assisi. The impression they make even today is overwhelming, combining as they do both the aura of the humanity and the holiness of Francis. But modern scholars have found it increasingly difficult to trust Bonaventure's account since the Protestant historian Paul Sabatier, 1858 to 1928, raised in his Life of St. Francis of Assisi the explosive Franciscan question, a highly complex technical debate about the reliability of the early sources, which no biographer of Francis can ignore. It arises from the insight that the early biographies have always pursued a specific agenda. When Bonaventure led the Franciscan order in a delicate period of its life, it is evident how he built on others' works, as well as attempting to paint the image of the founder in such a way that his priorities could encompass the divergent Franciscan branches.